Good afternoon, Facebook friends and YouTube subscribers. You're watching The Opinion Junkie, TOJ. I want to talk about Dr. Umar Johnson. I did a video last night detailing why he received this letter. He received a letter basically from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to come to court and defend his credentials and basically explain the origin of the mountain of phone calls that's been coming to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, to Lehigh University, to Millersville University, and the Pennsylvania School District. The reason why the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania did this is because Dr. Umar Johnson, over the last 3 years, has become the most controversial person in the conscious community, vis-a-vis speaking against the LGBT community, white supremacy, I guess, and just basically exposing the school to prison pipeline. Now, a lot of the conscious community, the people who get paid money to do lectures, to speak in, and to give these talks or what have you, this man cut into a lot of their money. They actually ate off those books. And with Umar Johnson coming onto the scene, he kind of revitalized a lot of that those debates. And some of those debates turned to jealousy. Some of those debates turned visceral, as you saw with that SETI video he did. So part of the controversy with Dr. Umar it originated with the money first. But it really exploded when Umar claimed that he was related to Frederick Douglass. Now, last night I was angry. I didn't have a script. Now I got a script. I'm going to follow my script. Thanks to one of the guys made a comment. He said, you go on these long tangents and you don't stick to the script. So you know who you are. Thank you for that. Because I watched my video and I had to delete it. Because I was just out of it last night. I didn't shave now. I feel better. Had me some coffee. So he claimed that he was related to Frederick Douglass. And he never said that he was a descendant of Frederick Douglass. He was just related. You see, when people who speaks like Umar, or anybody who does public speaking, you have to be very careful with your words. And there are people out there who only hear what they want to hear. It's like reading and comprehension. You may have heard something, but you didn't comprehend it. He said he was related to Frederick Douglass through his great times grandfather, Stephen Bailey. Stephen Bailey is Umar Johnson's great grandfather. Okay, so he is an actual blood relative of Frederick Douglass, just not a descendant of Frederick Douglass, contrary to the claims at the Frederick Douglass family estate or what have you made that he was not a direct descendant of Frederick Douglass, which he went on Roland Martin's show and obliterated. The man can go down his family tree in a way that I can't even do it. And I'm only 40-something years old, and I can't, other than my grandpa, Joseph, I don't know who his daddy is. And honestly, I never really ever took the time to do it. Not that it don't matter, just that, I'm not making a certain claim that my kids would have to know about. So, getting back to his education, I actually have a whole script I'm following. So, yeah, I'm actually following a real script. So, here we go. His education. Millersville University, he became a school psychologist in the year 2000. Okay, he got a doctorate in schools in Philadelphia School of Osteopathic Medicine in the year 2012. He has a master's in education leadership from Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. 5 years of undergrad at Millersville, double major, political science and psychology. 2001, he was a school psychologist at the Philadelphia School District. So there you go. So he actually, I watched it on Vlad TV, and he gave a whole rundown. So somebody went on YouTube and did a whole video trying to expose Dr. Umar as an identity theft participant. See, that he actually stole, that there is a real Umar Johnson that's Middle Eastern. Are you fucking kidding me? Dog, these Hotep niggas got to go, bruh. It was a girl. Actually, she was like, she read it, and she was like, and she actually put a picture of a young Umar Johnson when he was skinny. Like, I think he was like 19 years old in the picture, like right at, like 20-something years old. So it was like a skinny version of Umar. But it was him. He was in school. Like, it was like an actual college yearbook. He was in that yearbook. So apparently he went to school at Millersville when she put the image of him on the screen. So it's just a matter of the links that the haters are going to prove this man wrong. Now, like I said last night in the original video, my beef, not really a beef, but my claim or my issue with Umar Johnson was from his initial video was when he kept giving dates, saying I'm going to have the school open by this date or that date. I would say the arrogance of somebody like that, it shows not so much as a lack of vision, but a lack of seriousness, because when you don't really know everything, it takes a lot, or it just shows the measure of a man that can actually basically say, yeah, I don't really know everything, so I'll have to get a school architect. I need to get a structural engineer. That if I was going to buy a school for $2 million, it would take an extra $1 million to bring that school up to code. If he would have told the donators that was the case, I think he would have had a different reception from everybody asking where the money went. Now, as far as the money is concerned, let's go into the money situation, because the money is the main thing everybody is complaining about. So I'm gonna give you guys, I run a business. I'm gonna give you guys some information on money, because most of the Hotep niggas will get like $300 a speech. They don't really understand real money. And if you do, and you're still complaining about this Umar Johnson situation, either you're jealous or you just, I don't know, man, or you have a misconception of money, or a comprehension issue. Here we go. Or you don't have the mental dexterity to understand it. If Umar Johnson got $5 million, I can understand people being mad. $700,000 combined with the nickels, dimes, and pennies and donations is not even going to suffice him securing a decent lawyer, a real estate lawyer. Because mind you, you're not buying a house. You're buying a physical building that's going to be utilized as a building of education, okay, a higher learning, and a private school for that matter. So you need to get insurance. It's going to be, and he wanted it to be like a group home where you can now, residency college, where you can actually send your kids to stay there. And it would cost a couple of grand, about $50,000 to get a decent firm to go through the structural engineer firm. They go through buildings, older buildings, and tell you what you need to bring the building up to code. Then you got to go to the I'm saying parish. I'm in Louisiana, in New Orleans. The county. You got to go to the county, get the county engineer. The county has a structural engineer on hand. This person comes in with you and your engineer, and the both of y'all walk the building, and the engineer from the parish. I'm going to say parish a lot. That's our word for county in Louisiana. So we have like a French laws or whatever. So you get the county engineer and the county person. Basically, y'all talk together, and y'all will come together, and y'all will come up with a price, and he'll give you a punch list of everything you need to do to bring the building up to code. Umar's biggest downfall, I think personally, was not explaining this in strict detail like I'm doing. That it's going to take about $3 million to get the school up and running. His biggest problem was not starting small. He should have started with a tiny school, and nobody would have had an issue with that. At least he would have had a brick and mortar location. It could have been a fucking shit, and it could have been an apartment building. But with him having a doctorate in education, at least it gave him some you know what I'm saying, it would have gave him some legitimacy, because he has a real doctorate in educational leadership. So the man can be a school principal, and nobody's debating that. But does his documents really matter? Does his school psychology really matter? Yes, it does matter, because he claimed he had it. So he's going to have to go to these people and defend it. Now, another issue is with the GoFundMe money and the PayPal money. Let me explain something to you guys. I do business a lot of business. Let me say something. I'm friends with two people that do public speaking, and I know a little bit about Boyce and Tariq's price. Tariq Nasheed get about $6,000, I think, per per lecture. And I think Boyce gets about 6,000 per lecture. Maybe they probably get 5,000 a piece. But when you book somebody, if you're a promoter, you have to pay their airplane fare and cover their the hotel stay. So when Umar is traveling across the world, going to Africa, going to China, doing all these speeches, people is paying this dude for this. So it's not like he's actually taking GoFundMe money and spending it and tricking it off on pussy or whatever. Now, the conscious stripper situation was kind of weird. I definitely had an issue with that not because he got some pussy. I got a problem with is when she screenshot those text messages. And I do have an issue with that because she shouldn't expose that dude, bro. And you gotta understand, we all know that Martin Luther King apparently or allegedly messed around on his wife. Jesse Jackson has a love child out there. That when you are traveling the world, the biggest issue with the conscious community is that the conscious community, these guys got a lot of ego issues. And Umar had a big ego. I think his ego and his arrogance really got in the way of his vision. Because I've learned when you're doing business and when you're doing public speaking and you're doing service to the community, you have to be nice about it. Like Joe didn't lean on me. Even in Lean on Me, that was actually the plot point behind the movie was, at the end of the movie, he realized there was a bunch of people who was fighting with him that wanted to work with him. But Joe Clark didn't see that. And at the end of the movie, he ended up being a nicer guy because I think his secretary lady or whatever, gave him a piece of her mind and told him that the sisters are also in this with you. And Umar has a big issue with, I guess, putting himself to a higher standard over everybody, but having 2 kids out of wedlock. Even I judge him for that. And I'm a Umar cheerleader damn near. And I even got an issue with the man having 2 kids out of wedlock. Now, I don't know his personal, intimate business. That's not my concern. My concern is, if you're going to do a school for kids, you start small. And then you start showing the people who donate to you some successes. Meaning that you can show, I successfully graduated a bunch of kids. I turned them around. Now let's go to the bigger, the bigger conclusion, which is me getting with the right investors and, not getting this school off the ground and getting a brick and mortar location. Or he could have even started an online university. And at least that way the people who kind of sort of ain't got the money could, like at least donate or chip something in. But the man has not withdrawn any money, at least to my knowledge, from the GoFundMe money, because of course he would have to answer for that. But getting $5,000 per speech, and you doing, I guess, 2 lectures a month or 3 lectures a month, the man getting good money. Plus on top of that, he sells those unapologetically African shirts with a little fist on it. So he's selling a bunch of them shirts. I've seen them shirts in the French Quarter. I even seen a hat with that fist on it. So the man selling merchandise, selling his books, the academic Holocaust against black boys. He actually exposed. Now, me personally, that's why we need an Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson, his positive is that as a father of a boy that's autistic and a father of a child, I got 2 boys. I think the little bitty boy, he's just out of control. Cameron just a little badass dude. Now, my oldest son is definitely certified by a clinician to be autistic. And, I had Umar tell me some stuff, that's private about my son. And when he came to the community bookstore down here in New Orleans on Bayou Road, he told me some stuff. And I'm keeping it private, but, and I've never had a chance to meet one of those pro-black dudes without a bodyguard. I mean, on his status. And we talked for 5 minutes. And I knew there was a line behind me. But the point I'm making is, the dude may be an asshole. He may have an attitude problem. He got a big attitude problem. But the man heart is in the right place. And nothing is wrong with that. I don't really need to like you. Just do your job. And I think the people, the hotel community is just, they are with joy. I read that they're having a party this January the 9th or January the 8th somewhere with free food, barbecue, all the libations and drums and shit, bruh. Because if he is basically going to lose his license, it's going to be the best the best day of their life. And I'm so mad about that, bro. For you to be African American and damn it about to bust a nut because this dude finna lose his license. Because what happened is, I think once Umar Johnson went on Vlad and revealed the name of all the schools, they went full blown and just kept on going, calling back to back to back. Oh, this nigga. In fact, they froze his GoFundMe page a couple of months ago, but then they unfroze it. That would mean for them to unfreeze it, he had to prove that he had a doctorate and other degrees to back up his claims. But then again, like I said, if this man is stripped of his documents that he worked hard for, fucking lead the conscious community. Leave them niggas, leave them where they at, and give them the leader that they deserve. That's my attitude. These niggas ungrateful, bro. They really are. And at the end of the day, my only issue with Umar is him giving those dates, saying that the school will be open by this date. The school will be open by that date, and not being, I guess, humble enough to say, you know what, bro, I may have to start small. When you claim that you are the quote-unquote prince of Pan-Africanism, you need to take that ego and lower that shit down some. Because they got some, a couple of brothers out there who don't have your status, who would break their back for you. Or who would have broke their back for you, that you done burned the bridges for. And now you're by yourself. So I'm torn. I kind of feel sorry, but I kind of don't. But for those who claim that the guy was a fraud, I don't think he was a fraud. He went on Boyce Watkins. He went on Hidden Colors. He went on Vlad. He went on the Breakfast Club and broke down his relation to Frederick Douglass backwards on shit to a degree I couldn't do it. I couldn't go back to, like I said, to my grandpa, or my grandpa, even to my grandpa's daddy. And that's just like, 2 generations back. Anyway, those are my thoughts and my opinions. I'm not going to be doing this all day. Till next time, take care of yourself. Hit like, share, and subscribe.